So I think it should be showing now.
Yeah, it's sharing.
Great. So this is today's thing, and the only one that we put in here, as a real legitimate issue that's open, or a proposal that's open, was the proposal for creating competitor comparison landing page, or at least update it, as we already have quite a bit of this.
Say that 4 times in a row, competitor landing page.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one for sure. So if we're on the user docs, we have the BTCPay versus others. Basically, this issue, this proposal is talking about this page, um, which I like this graphic. It's a little bit dated by now, but it's a cool graphic. At least looks nice. And then the rest of the issue talks about the rest of the stuff, which is, as you can see, a lot of text, but we don't really point out what we do compared to, let's say, BitPay or OpenNode or whatever we can name. And that's pretty much what the proposal is about from POV. So, yeah, I don't know if you looked into it already or not, but um, as I said before we started the recording, there is people that are looking at the SEO stuff right now as well. There's a couple of things that they did before, so there's history about this already, and there's now one lady, I believe, she's looking into more. But I would have liked to have some more input on this, on where we can maybe already start, because uh, specifically these kind of things we can definitely start doing. I think making the structure of how should that page look, and is it more multimedia content or is it more text heavy? Well, I think it should be more media content heavy, as it's easy to click through and walk through page, but that's just me.
Yeah, but all this video and image content is not really indexed by Google. And if we are targeting SEO and
Correct.
stuff like that, we might need to find a way to balance that out. So it needs to be appealing to the user, of course, but yeah,
I know.
well structured. That's the balance act.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, this is his proposal, and for what he wrote so far. I think it's an okay approach, but we can do the determination of how do we want to make it look. Do we put certain pieces of text and then accompanying with a picture or a flyer or something like that? And um, I think this is right. We can do it against just the 2, 3 quote unquote big competitors that we have. Hey, Anastasia, what's up? Welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing today? You good?
Good, how are you?
We're good. We're just rambling on about the little bits of things that we noted down for this week. There's not too much. All right. Well, this one might be interesting for you as well. I mean, this is what we talked about pretty much last week when we spoke. Um, I can share the link in the chat too if we want to, so everybody has it. So that one might make sense to you. So SEO is one of the things that we're lacking a lot of, and well, a nice page of what are we compared to our competitors, like we sort of did, but not really against our competitors. We don't really name them. We don't have specific pages talking about them or anything like that. We only have one little graphic and then a real text heavy page, what goes on and on and on about what are we and what's the differences on certain portions. So yeah.
Okay, can you send me that link, please, so I can look over it?
The GitHub link or the link for the website?
Well, I don't know.
The-
This is so confusing. There are so many resources, and I get lost in them.
I
I have
sent
so
both
many
links.
links.
I sent both links in the chat here in what is it, Jitsi? I can send them to you in DMs later if you want me to. Um, but yeah, if maybe Marcus has an idea or you chime in, please.
Yeah, I mean, in marketing classes, we were told that you need call to actions like buttons that instruct the user what to do next, and really simple pages. And I mean, this wall of text that we currently have doesn't really serve the purpose.
Yeah, so this is an example that Pav put
Yeah.
next to us, or next to it, to his proposal of a service doing this to another service. I mean, it's Pipedrive against Salesforce.
Notice that green button, that call to action. That's so typical.
This one, yeah,
Yep.
that try us out
Oops,
right here,
Oops,
and
right into the eye. Yeah.
yeah, and then a little video next to it with a guy talking about it. So yeah, I think
Wait, so there are only 3 of us? No one else is joining
Yeah.
the group?
we're just with the 3 of us this week, Anastasia. People are out and doing other stuff. This is how it works. But anyway, this is one of the things that's going on, and it's been open for a bit, and I think it could tie in nicely with us releasing 1.6 in about 2-3 weeks. So yeah, if any of you or me or anybody who's watching this back has any input for it, always feel free and welcome to post. It's an open GitHub issue, so everybody can post. So yeah.
So will this be part of the regular BTCPay Server org page, or is this really, as the name landing page imposes, something that is completely kept separate, or
Yeah.
it will go in the docs then?
It is already in docs, and maybe we can split it up to something which is on its own. And maybe it's even good to put it on our official main website, but that's something Pav and everybody else should also chime into. I think
Sure.
for now it's a dedicated page in docs, so there is SEO possibilities if we do it right. So yeah, that's a start at least. All right.
Because you know what it is with docs, some people just don't like to read them.
Yeah, nobody does.
But
I know.
what do the dogs do? Like, is it just an explanation of what the upgrade is doing, or what?
No, so it's really us as BTCPay Server versus, let's say, OpenNode or BitPay. What's the difference between BTCPay Server and them? And that creates a retention possibility because you mentioned certain other products that are out there, and this leading into Google searches could mean that if we do it the right way, we also show up whenever somebody is searching for a Bitcoin payment gateway. Whenever he types that in, he gets BitPay, OpenNode, and BTCPay Server. But we can be up there even higher if we talk about the right stuff in our pages that talk against or over the other people, or over the other companies. To create that mingle whenever somebody types in, I'm searching for a payment gateway in Bitcoin and I'm typing in BitPay already, that because they search just purely for that, we also show up because we have this page that we hold against them to compare us with. Little tricks of getting more flow to and from your website, and also, of course, to show people that BTCPay is a better option than BitPay.
Because I think a lot of people generally do not realize that, like, how you get payments in Bitcoin, because they do not realize that it can be automated, and they do not realize that it's not automated already. Like, there's a lot of education that needs to get done in general.
For sure. Yeah. True.
Like, how are you going to search for BTCPay Server if you have no idea that you need to automate all the things?
Well, so I mean, we could do the test, right? We can go to Google and we can type in Bitcoin
How to accept
payment
or
gateway,
something like that,
or Bitcoin how to accept. Well, we get a standard thingy up here, but all the rest are not us. And then we get to related searches and things, and none of it. I mean, and page 2, let's be real, you never go to page 2. Exactly. So this is all based on SEO and how people have built their website and which kind of tags and all that kind of little things that they put to it. And well, that's one of the things that we can definitely improve on. We have had one. I think it was I think it was one person. I don't think it was a company or a group. I think it was a person who did a research on how we are doing it right now and what we could definitely improve and what we could possibly improve. That whole document is available, but we sadly never got further into it. Because it's hard to sometimes keep people always putting in the time that is necessary for it. And in this case, they did do all the research and they actually made it into a readable document for everybody, and it is shared amongst people from BTCPay. You can get it if you want to. We can share it probably in our MetaMost or somewhere again, so you can see what was done. But yeah, again, most of these pages lack it a lot. So there's a lot of improvement possibilities, and specifically with this one, because we are talking about other software out there, and if people search specifically for that software, they now also get a landing page on us, which we use to tell them, well, you better use us instead of them.
I do not know how SEO works. I wish I knew.
Okay. I'll share you the document of the research that was done, so you have an idea of what people look at for that kind of stuff, and maybe it gives you an idea of what we can do specifically for what the proposal is that we're talking about. And maybe you can help me out, or Marcus. I don't know, whoever of us is gonna do most of this, but I'm sure we can help each other out. So yeah, that's me rambling on about this proposal of PAV. Is there any?
Some ideas that came up. Are we doing any kind of analytics? I mean, of course, not Google Analytics, but something like Matomo or so, to see what users are clicking at, how long they stay on the site, which keywords they entered when searching for us. I think kind of this information would be helpful to tier the website more towards what users are looking for.
Don't think so per se. Let me see if I can really quickly.
Maybe the source of the site will tell it.
I'm thinking actually about maybe writing blog posts.
Yeah.
Because when I write in Google Bitcoin payments for store, the first one is an ad from circle.com. I have no idea what that is. Second is BitPay. And the other one, the third one, is Cointelegraph. Cointelegraph is like Bitcoin magazine, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they say, so they have an article that says how to accept Bitcoin in my store. And then the one below it also says how to accept Bitcoin in my store. How to accept Bitcoin in my store, how to accept Bitcoin in my store. And I feel like this is what people are looking for. And if we have like an article like this, we might get more clicks.
Yeah. Yeah. An article or the right page with the right tags on it, that it actually shows up in the Google searches and stuff. Yeah, correct.
The title. But again, I have no idea how the websites will work, because I use those websites like constructors to build the website, but I have no idea how it shows up on Google or anything like that.
So as I said, somebody did some research on this before, and I opened the document for us here. And they go through all the basic stuff. So the current state, SEO assessment, a roadmap that is possible, and a playbook for strategies next to it. And what they do is something that everybody can do. You can always go to Google. You can do a specific search on specific websites, topics, whatever, name it, and you get to see what the traffic is for certain websites or certain search keys. And that's basically what they're talking about here. So that they're talking about our domains and our subdomains. How are they ranked? How are they stacking up against searchers for BTCPay Server? Blah blah blah. Not going into it too deep. As I said, I can share this document probably on Mattermost again if we want to. But it again shows you a couple of graphs and a couple of statistics of how BTCPay Server's website is performing. So then you go a little bit deeper. it's probably maybe a little bit hard for you guys to read, maybe a little small, but as I said, they go in deeper and deeper. They describe the problem as well, where, well, as they clearly say, search bots crawl the web with spiders that harvest text only, which is HTML, where most of our stuff is rendered in JavaScript, for example. So it's already harder to search for because all those tags fall outside of the scope of what Google and search engines usually do.
So descriptive URLs instead of IDs and stuff like that, yeah.
Yep.
From a technical standpoint.
And stuff like this, like Sia was talking about as well, the blogs, they do work, and you can make them work even better if you put in the appropriate stuff.
As a title.
The title, it's the image, it's the read length of the whole thing, all that stuff.
Text, alt text for images, lots of backlinks, I don't know, typical stuff.
Yeah.
So I used to talk to Katie. I mean, we still talk, but we talked about SEO, and she said, Anastasia, I've paid $0 for any SEO. I've optimized zero SEO. However, when you type crypto passports or Bitcoin passports, my website will be the second one or the first one. And she said all of that is done only through social media, and because people Fox News, CNBCs, they were writing articles about her and doing videos about her.
Yep. So she's getting the SEO portion from other people. So she's getting backlinked the whole time, which is very powerful. And this is why this proposal that Pav wrote for our BTCPay versus others is a very good one. Because if we write this out, we get our competitors their searches as well. So they get included in our SEO, and over time that grows. But right now we don't do any of that, or barely any of it. So she's right. You don't have to put in any money for SEO, because SEO is something that will build up over time as well if you do it right. But we are, I think, at a point where that is not the only thing that is working anymore for us. BTCPay Server is a pretty renowned name, I would say, in the space. I would even go as far as maybe even one of the most important pieces of software. It's a little giggle there. But the thing is that just social media impact isn't enough anymore, at least not for the state our current social media is in. Let's put it that way. So yes, if we build that out with, let's say, a podcast that is every week, that there's standard newsletter going out every week accompanying that podcast with the bullet points that link back to our website or to competitors or strategies or things that we're doing, that way you're creating SEO without paying anything for it, because you don't indeed have to pay anything for it if you do it right.
Have any of the BTCPay Server people ever went on a big podcast to talk about BTCPay Server?
I would say quite a lot of them do. We, of course, have Dennis amongst us, who's doing the 21 podcasts in Germany. The whole 21 crew that they're building out over there with Gigi, and maybe Marcus is even part of that stuff as well. We have Pavel next, of course, going on to some podcasts. We used to have Britt Kelly, who used to be doing this stuff a lot. But sadly, she's got busy with other stuff and isn't available anymore. So we got to redo a lot of these things. And same for Rockstar Dev. He still, of course, is around and he's doing his talks as well, but he's not doing it every week, right? So there's no repetitiveness or how do you say that? Flow
There's no
to
fixed schedule for podcasts or something like
correct.
that.
Yeah, because all you see on podcasts are all the influencers, and they do not build anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it is something we can do too. Sunday codings with Rockstar, for example. Those are real good. Let's see if we can find one Sunday. Good.
Yes, I remember those. He did those.
I mean, we had quite a lot of fun in those, and a lot of people came by. I mean, it wasn't just Uncle sitting there and doing his work and pushing code, but it was Gigi coming in, or I think we had Giacomo at some point join him. So we did it before, but as I said, there's no constant structure to it. So we're not always doing it, sadly. And it is something that we need to build out, and it would probably work for sure. So, Sia, you're not busy, I hear.
Well, I'm supposed to be busy. But here is what I'm thinking about. Since I work for Bitcoin Magazine, and from what I hear, Bitcoin Magazine wants to go like really hard into Bitcoin, meaning like start contributing a lot more to open source projects, supporting all Bitcoin developers, and do all of that. I don't know if I can talk to them, if they could invite you guys to the show, or I don't know, maybe do spaces. People join spaces a lot. The thing is, I would have done that, but I have no idea how the protocol works, and I'm not technical at all, and I have no idea what is happening.
For spaces, you just push one button and you launch in space. That's the reality of it. But
Yes, but like talk about BTCPay Server.
so
I guess I can do spaces, but just name them BTC was sponsored, but it's not like sponsored.
so
By BTCPay Server.
we talked about this stuff. So me and Webworthy, for example, we did a proposal to start, and this is maybe a little sneak peek into it, BTCPay and Beer, where we probably after calls like these on a Friday, just hang out and have some fun and talk about stuff that we want to talk about. And one of the things why I say live streams and not per se Twitter spaces is because our Twitter account, we don't want to keep pushing things to everybody the whole time. Because, I mean, that's going to be annoying at some point too. Let's be real. At some point, everybody is fed up with, oh, again a tweet, or again something. But one of the things that I've asked Nicholas as well to do in the near future, and it was supposed to be just after 1.5, but it seems that we're going into 1.6 first, to do a talk on either Twitter Spaces or do it on all the platforms at once. So we have Twitch, we have YouTube, and we have Twitter Spaces, or even go as far as we can do the live streaming on Twitter, Periscope, or whatever it's called. So yes, we really want to do this, and we really would like to put all this up. But it's time consuming, and sadly we don't all have the time for it all the time. But I would like to have input either from you or from Marcus or from anybody else who's again listening to this or watching it back. It would really nice to would be nice to see new rock stars joining us in this part.
What I'm thinking about, so I have an Instagram account that I dedicated solely to Bitcoin. I can put just like a sticker whenever I do videos. Right now, they do not get a lot of views, maybe like 300 views, 400 views. But I think my account is growing pretty fast. I want to say it has almost as many followers as my main account, which is like a private closed account. And I have BTCPay Server T-shirt, and I'm wearing that a lot of times. So that can be, I guess, as a marketing, but I'm not talking about BTCPay Server necessarily, if that makes sense.
You don't want to go into the code with Marcus and discuss some containers and stuff?
Yeah.
No, but that's really cool. I mean, I don't think there. I mean, I'm not on Instagram. I've zero clue what happens on Instagram. I don't know if there's actually a BTCPay server account. Even I don't know. But if there isn't, we probably should get onto it and put some little clips out or whatever they call it on there. Yeah.
There is BTCPay Server down dash or, but it has 0 followers, 0 links, nothing.
Change that.
Yeah, if that's ours, I'll try to find out. If that is ours, or if we have one that we maybe have somewhere stored, I'll see if we can do something with it. I'm up for it for sure. I mean, it's another entry of reach, right? We can create more influx of people and eyes from all these platforms.
So I have another, I guess, issue. So I'm doing math videos, and you guys probably seen it, right? My
I
math
saw it
video.
now. Last time you showed you told me, so I watched one. Yes.
Yeah. So I am gonna do more of them. But here's the problem. When I record it, I do a mirror flip. So if I'm wearing BTCPay Server t-shirt, it is like mirror.
Ah, yeah, that's smart.
Yes, but I'm wondering if you guys can send me like a logo and I can print it, but print it like mirror.
You want
And wear that because I'm gonna do that for Bitcoin magazine as well.
you want just the logo as a PNG so you can print it? I can
Yes,
do that
yes,
for you if you want one.
yes.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
all in on the GitHub,
Yes,
isn't
and
it?
Yeah.
also I will need a color of the t-shirt because it's green color. But how do I know which green color do I print it on?
Or just do it on a black shirt.
Does it
I
look good with black?
I think our last t-shirts were black. I'm not sure.
During Bitcoin 2022, mine was green.
Yeah, we have greens, but we also, I think, have black ones with just a B on it. I'm not sure. I mean,
I mean,
I'm the only one who doesn't have one. They're scarcer than Bitcoin, it seems. So
well, I have one. Someone gave me. I do not remember who. I was
probably
just talking
uncle.
to an uncle, and someone randomly came up to me. They're like, "Do you want a BTC Pay Server T-shirt?" I'm like, "Yeah."
That's good. Um, yeah, I'll get you that file or show you where you can find those files if you want to.
Yeah, I want that. In my T-shirt also says BTC Pay Server. Um, because if you just have a logo, it doesn't. I guess do much. I don't know. But if you're
Unbelievable.
wearing
I'll
a
share
full
the link.
T-shirt and it says the name, yeah.
Did you just share a link already,
Yeah,
Marco?
that's where all the images for the t-shirts and designs and stuff are in. That's what I use to print my own t-shirt.
Yeah.
The SVG is the vector graphics for the
I think
logo.
I found it. Yes. Don't know. Okay, great, found it. Great. Now I just have to mirror flip.
Fixing the technical issue with the camera is not an option, yeah? Just mirror everything.
All right, that's good. Sounds good, Sia. I'd like to see that happen. I mean, as I said, it's another entry point of eyes and people that can see stuff. So for sure, let's work on that.
So I'm learning. I'm going through a course. I think I mentioned that talks about different social medias, but mainly Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And the girl who made the course, she said that Instagram is the best platform to sell, not the best platform to get monetization for putting out the content, but the best platform to sell. So that is how you get the brand recognition in general.
Yeah, so we're not per se looking for a product to sell because everybody can get our software for free, which is great. But
But
the
you're
eyes
selling
that
free product,
the
if that
eyes
makes
that it generates is definitely something worth I think putting time in. And yeah, teach us. I have no idea. I'm a boomer in that sense, Sia. So
because Bitcoin community is on Twitter, and I feel like everyone on Twitter knows about BTCPay Server. But all the noobs, they are on YouTube, they are on TikTok, they are on Instagram, and they have no idea what the hell is happening.
Yeah, I guess those people you also have to explain why you don't just share a Bitcoin address and say that's your donation acceptance point. Why you actually need BTCPay Server for that kind of use case. So
Yeah,
that's
because
all.
then how do you know who donated, like all of that stuff?
Nah, don't reuse addresses. That's the whole point, I guess, for privacy.
Yeah.
But
I've heard some people making other points, so I don't know.
Well, as long as they use BTCPay Server, they don't have to worry about it. We take care of that. Um, that's a good idea, as I said. Let's build on that. So yeah, I'd like to see that happen, as I said before as
Okay,
well.
I'm gonna send you some videos I'm gonna do like in the future, and I'll just put a sticker for now, just on the video, and maybe I can talk about BTCPay Server in general. And you said that you had some clips of people talking, like general videos of people talking, and I can take some clips from it and turn it into a short video. So
yeah, I can send you some funny moments or some crazy bits or whatever. Yeah, I can do that for sure.
yes, great.
All right, let's do that. So that was basically one of my only real points on here for this week. I also mentioned roadmap 1.6, but Pav is not here, so that's a little tricky. I mean, we can look over our current roadmap if we want.
I have another, I guess, concern. I talked to Ben Carmen and I asked him about BTCPay Server. He said it's kind of challenging to set up. Is it true?
So this is maybe true if you do it locally on your Raspberry Pi, because you need to have some little understanding of how you build up a Raspberry Pi. But in reality, if you really wanted to, you can spawn up a BTCPay server right now. Within 5 minutes, you're accepting anything for your donation page. If you would use, for example, somebody like Voltage Cloud, you can set up your BTCPay server hosted by them, but with the keys in your own possession, of course, by making a watch-only wallet for BTCPay server. You can set that up within 5 minutes with Lightning Balance connected to it and everything.
I'm so confused.
It's all about freedom and open source, I guess. Yeah, you can have it as hard or as easy as you want.
So it really, as Marcus is saying, it's true. It's depending on how far you want to go. And if you want everything in self-custody and all secured in your own home or wherever you're storing your node, yes, it's going to involve a little bit more practice from yourself, but there is right now real easy solutions, like, as I mentioned, Voltage, or even what are you called, Dreamlab networks, or Luna Node, or I believe there's more services by now. So,
but even if you look at other projects like Umbrel or Citadel, I think it was called, that do Raspberry Pi images, it can be so much easier to onboard new users than to have them read all of this documentation. Like, have a small application that builds an image for you, then you just flash it to an SD card and it starts everything.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think we could do better, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure, and it slowly is getting better, I think. But yeah, for example, Umbral, it's literally go to their little app store thing or whatever they call it, and you hit the button for BTCPay server, and it's installed on your own node. So it's I wouldn't say it's too difficult anymore. I would have agreed with him 3 years ago, but definitely not today.
But let's say I do not have an Umbrel. I'm running the node on my computer. Will that be challenging?
A little bit, I think.
I mean,
because I'm sorry, go ahead.
We have this web configurator project that will generate a script for you that you just have to paste in, and it will install everything as you have ticked the boxes and wanted to configure it. So I guess you can make that process a bit streamlined. But again, that's one of the harder options, yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of weird that I'm going to be talking about the BTCPay server, and at the end I have no idea how to install it.
Well, you can go to our website, go into documentation, and you go to user documentation, and you can click try it out, and then
register account.
And you can
so I got stuck on register account.
How did you get stuck on registering an account?
To register a demo account, visit official demo. To deploy instance, of your own, see choosing a deployment method.
Where do you see
There are
that?
like 3 different links. Am I supposed to click on all of them?
No, you can pick whatever you want. You can pick if you want to do it on our mainnet, which is legitimate real Bitcoin that you're using on there, or you can go to testnet, which is testnet Bitcoin, or we tell you we also have a lot of third-party people that host a BTCPay server for you, and you can try it out.
What is the difference between to register a demo account or to deploy an instance of your own?
If you're using the demo accounts, you're using our BTCPay server. So this is not a BTCPay server in your possession, not on your node, not in your account. You are not the administrator. You are only able to use it in the sense of we can create a store, you can create basic things of BTCPay server, but you can't do the administrator stuff because it's our BTCPay server instance.
I think you can do Lightning by now through LN Bank. I don't know if it's on the mainnet demo server enabled, but at least with some third-party host, that's possible now. That used to be an issue.
Yeah, and of course, every store can hook up a separate node for Lightning if they want to. So yeah.
So coming back to this call of action theme with the buttons, so this would be like a button with an arrow on the right side that you open up, and then you have all these like 3 deployment methods that you can choose from, just to visualize it a bit for the landing page.
For example, yeah, something like that, and make this. I mean, it is a very text-heavy page again because we have a couple of different versions and things where you can go to. But mainly for just the demo server, for example, yeah, that would be really good to put that on the BTCPay versus others and have a big ass button where you can click on and you go to the right place. That would be real good, yeah.
Did anyone do a tutorial on YouTube?
For how to use BTCPay server or?
How to set it up?
Yeah, multiple.
Okay, great.
Many. There's a lot of videos, and as I just mentioned, for example, the deployment on Voltage, as I said, being one of the easier ones. You can go to deployments, and then we have web deployments, and then Voltage, for example. Ben did a great video on it. So it's not just us who create content about us, but also podcasters like Ben who create an introduction video to, hey, this is how you use BTCPay Server and Voltage, how you set it up, how you go through it. He does the whole thing of how do you set it up, and then he also goes into the portion of, well, now you set it up, how do you use your store? So he's showing you actually the store as well, and how to create, I think, a donation page he's going to talk about or something.
But if you've never heard of these hosting options like Voltage, and you're just a new user who wants to find out which one is right for him, so there needs to be some kind of table comparing the different deployment methods. An easy way to find out which one is, yeah, okay, I'm not saying anything anymore.
I mean,
I'm already overwhelmed.
I mean, if you want a table with a lot of names and is it easy or difficult? Yeah, I got this for you. I got your back. But it's again very text heavy. It's not a easy. I can click a couple of buttons, or there's just a couple of images that are looking nice and shiny.
Maybe something like a wizard that will ask you for your
preferences.
Do you have a low budget? Do you want to have Lightning? Do you want to have self-custody? Is security a concern for you? And then, like it does for Bitcoin.org, when you choose a wallet, that just spits out a recommendation. Something like that. Really simple.
Could be a good improvement. I'm fully with you. And again, I think that might be something we would like to add to this proposal of PAV as well. Like, we can make all of these things, even though we have most of it, look a lot better and make functionally work for us instead of, all right, it exists, but I gotta point it out to you, and it takes 5 minutes to actually point it out, where I could have used those 5 minutes to tell you how, for example, to set it up on Luna Node, whatever.
Okay, but here is my question. So let's say I'm running BTCPay server and I have It's on my laptop, and I have an online store, and then I run my node on my computer. I don't have a Raspberry Pi. So when I go to sleep and I close my computer, does it mean I can still accept the payment?
Nope.
Nope. That's why you want to do it on either a Raspberry Pi or on a server or something like that.
So you think voltage will be the best option?
I'm not saying voltage is the best option, but voltage is definitely one of the easiest options right now. So just purely of a perspective of I have zero knowledge and I just want to click a couple of buttons and have my server up and running. Voltage is, I think, the easiest one at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm biased or whatever due to design or whatever I like in there. But I think they are at the moment the one that are definitely doing it the easiest way if you want a hosted node, that is. If you want your own node and you already run your own node at home, let's say it is a Raspberry Pi with Umbrel, then Raspberry Pi Umbrel is one of the easiest ways. And again, then you have it on your own dedicated hardware already, and it's, you know, it's not at night you flip down your screen of your laptop and then everything shuts off.
Yeah.
So
But then you have the people coming into the support chat. How do you access Umbrel via ClearNet? How can I hook it up to my shop? I mean, there's a whole list of problems that comes up with Umbrel currently.
Sure, but every implementation and every way of deploying something has their difficulties and implications. If you would run it on your own laptop at home, it also gives you a couple of more implications than when you run it on just a Raspberry Pi. I mean, it's a different way of setting it up, so there's going to be different hurdles and things you have to take. But yeah, that's, again, I think it's voltage.cloud or some.
Yeah, voltage. Yeah, because I'm currently on their website.
Yeah,
How do they differ from Lightning Labs?
what are they different from Lightning Labs? Well, Lightning Labs is mainly maintaining and building out the core protocol, what Lightning is. And Voltage is a hosting platform that offers server space where you can rent a node space, so space for a Bitcoin node. You can also rent space for a Lightning node. These two can talk to each other really easily, of course, because you're on the same platform. And in this case, Voltage also offers the option to run a really dedicated BTCPay Server node. So you get all the bits and pieces that you need for BTCPay Server, for your Bitcoin node, and then immediately in that same flow of creating this server, they also ask you if you want Lightning, for example, connected to your node, and they can do that for you. They can set this up as a service. So they are generally a node provider or service provider, whatever you would want to call them, a hoster. So in that case, they're very different from Lightning Labs.
I'm just so yeah. Like I've been in Bitcoin for 2 years, but I still consider myself to be a noob because I do not understand this. Design. It is so damn confusing. At first, like you're going reading an article, you're like, okay, I got it. I think I got it. I think I understand it. And then you go like deeper, and you're like, oh my god, I'm such a moron.
There's so many layers.
The more you know, the more you know what you do not know, or something like that.
So yeah,
I guess that would be an idea for one of the podcasts as well, to start with the basics, because it's like with programming, the starter videos always have the most views. The ones that explain the basics.
yeah. So we're gonna have a morning where we set up Sia with a new node where she's gonna be running BTCPay Server and how to connect Lightning to it and everything like that. All right.
Well, you know, me trying to set up BTCPay server is going to be very funny. Because I do not consider myself to be a tech person, but I mean, everyone was carrying me out to run a node. They were like, it is too complicated. You need to buy an Umbrel. An Umbrel is like $300 already. I'm like, I'm not spending this much for a node.
So
But
just to give you an idea, in this case, if I'm still on voltage, so I'm gonna stick with voltage for a second. Nothing sponsored here or nothing like that. But let's say we're going with voltage. I believe the whole thing. So if you're wanting BTCPay server on your node, and you want Lightning connected with it, I think you're somewhere paying of like $17 a month for that to be hosted for you and stuff like that. Um, it isn't in your own possession in that sense if you don't own the hardware, but as long as you don't have the keys stored on there, so you actually only have a watch only wallet there, you're good. You're fine.
The Lightning portion uses a hot wallet, I guess. So that's
yeah.
There's a trust thing that you have to settle with yourself.
Yep, and that's also where you're paying for in a service, and also where maybe a portion of reliability comes in, and legal term speak, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to go into that too far because I'm also not 100% sure what their TOS is saying about what if their data center goes down and your Lightning node burns down or something. I don't know. I don't know what's in their TOS, but that's a risk that you take whenever you get a hosted node. So. Yeah.
because my point was that when I ran Bitcoin Node, it was literally just clicking 3 buttons. That's it.
Yep. But when you wanted Lightning on top of it, it already got a little bit more complicated.
Yes, but again, people already told me that running a node is complicated, but it didn't turn out to be that complicated. I just had to click a few buttons.
Exactly.
But is running Lightning node the same? You just have to click one button,
No.
then send the funds, open a channel, also click a button. My point is, whatever is clicking a button, it's easy. But where you have to write something, that's where it gets complicated.
So the thing is with your Lightning node, let's say you would run your Lightning node on your laptop, right? As soon as you close your laptop, it's going to go offline. And your node peers, so the people that you connected with and have channels with, are not going to be happy because you're an unreliable peer because you're offline the whole time. And at some point, they might even close those channels on you. And if you, at some stage, very late, only like after a year or something, turn back on your laptop, well, you might be screwed for those sats that are in there because you might actually open a toxic channel state. So there's rules on the Lightning network that you quote unquote have to comply with, let's call it that way. And when you go into offline mode on your laptop, well, it's not like running a Bitcoin node that the next time you put it on, it just syncs the blocks and goes on. It doesn't work like that. It works a little different.
Got it.
So in that regard, yes, it gets a little bit trickier once you start running Lightning on top of your node. And that's also why a lot of people nowadays are, I think at least, have switched over to having dedicated hardware that runs their nodes. Even that may be a laptop, but a laptop that they never use for anything else and is just constantly on and always running.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because I have that.
No, you don't have that. So in your case, and especially because you're traveling a lot and stuff like that, you still could go with a Raspberry Pi, but you would need to do some things to make it always run and all that stuff, use batteries everywhere, all that kind of stuff. But you could go for the hosted route, so you don't own the hardware. Sorry?
So voltage is the best choice.
Well, it depends how long you let it run. I mean, if cost is a topic, then your upfront investment in a Raspberry Pi and the big SSD would pay off over time, I guess.
Correct.
I mean, if it's, I don't know, $20 a month, I do not mind paying it to run. Okay, if I have a store, this is what I need it for.
Correct. But
yes,
if you run if you run a store, Sia, you probably have room or at least the expenses to buy some hardware. So in that case, you would rather have the upfront cost of $300 and not always put in those $20 every month. Which
but if I'm traveling everywhere.
True, but if you're a store owner, this is now a monthly cost, and after a year, a little bit more than a year, you're outrunning the cost of just purchasing that hardware. If you are indeed not able to be at one location the whole time, it might be a wise decision, but then it is something that you calculate in as a cost to your store.
For voltage, I'm paying for convenience, no? What do you think is more convenient,
Correct.
Raspberry Pi or voltage?
Correct. That's one of the trade-offs that you're making. You're making the convenience compared to, do I want full security and full custody of my hardware as well? That's the difference.
So maybe the route that I took, I started off with a VPS, set it all up myself, and let it run for 2 or 3 years. And at some point, I was seeing that Lightning usage was increasing and that there was a lot of money on the node. So I kind of felt uncomfortable leaving that at the hoster's hands. So that's where I switched to a Raspberry Pi. So that can also be a route. I mean, you can start off with one solution and later on change your mind. That's not a problem. We have a backup script for that, right?
Correct. And there's all different approaches to this. I would say, let's say, Sia, you're starting your own business. You're gonna start selling T-shirts or something. I don't know. Then definitely, just as a let's say fully non-technical person, yes, voltage is definitely the easiest way to set this up, and you can do the whole thing until you go on to Lightning in your own custody. That's the point. Like, if you want to do Lightning the right way, you gotta do it on your own things. Otherwise, you're always having a little bit of dependencies on other people or parties.
They don't say you don't, in Bitcoin, we don't trust, we verify. So that should be something to consider also. Don't trust your hoster if you don't have to.
Correct. So if you can, try to get your own stuff, but if you just want to run it and see what it does for a year or maybe 2 years, whatever, your small store, definitely something like Voltage or Luna or even Dreamlabs, they're all easy solutions nowadays where you can click a couple of buttons and you're into your BTCPay server. So, we're at the hour mark already again. Is there anything you have, Marcus, for this week still?
Not really. I would like to look at the blog topic. Maybe we can gather some ideas what we want to cover and what we want to write articles about, and then look for people who are interested to contribute. Because I don't know, do we want to push out an article once every week, or what's the idea behind that?
So, what I think I'm going to propose to the both of you, a couple of weeks back, and I'll send it to you later on, and I'll put it in the description here as well. We did a dedicated SEO talk, and in that talk, we also talked about a newsletter and blog that we get offered as a service, at least the newsletter stuff. At least they were willing to help us out with that, and maybe it's good to see if we can get into contact with them again and set this up, because I think maybe Sia wants to help as well in that part, writing some stuff and making some blogs or something. So yeah, sure.
As I said before, I'm not a writer. I cannot definitely write, but as I said, I can do the videos, post it, help you guys with social media, or I don't know, any administrative task, you can send it over.
All right, that's good.
Sounds
So
good.
sign up for GitHub and start. No, that's a joke. Start cleaning out the issues and everything like that. No. That's a joke. Yeah, basically, we can have a real quick overview here on the roadmap. Most of this stuff is done. Maybe if I can ask you, Marcus, see if you can maybe look at this one for me. So we have Cypherskunk who wanted to help here as well, but we might need to help him out a little bit on getting it out there. So what I can do is I can ping him for you and see if I can connect you guys. And maybe if he doesn't feel like it, you might feel like picking this one up.
It's issue 950 of the BTCPay doc, right?
Correct.
Okay, let me pull that up.
I can share the link if you want me to. So it's not too big of a thing, but it just needs to get out there. And he signed up, but maybe due to things in real life or whatever is up, it's not coming out. I'll ping him as well, see if he needs some assistance or whatever. But if you can have a look at it, that would be nice.
I'll read through the issue and see what's already in the docs and how we can improve it. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's like a little FAQ thing or something like that. It's not too crazy. And then furthermore, there's just a lot of videos that I gotta make Parker do, or maybe even get Sia to do some. So yeah, that's about it, I think, for this week.
Okay.
I don't know if you
Great.
guys still have something, but otherwise,
Great meeting. Lots of ideas, and let's put it to action then.
yeah, let's get it up to speed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice
Thank you.
weekend, guys. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
For too long, we've relied on trusted third parties to process digital payments. The world is changing, and so are your customers. As cash payments decrease, digital payments become the standard. But existing apps charge transaction fees and lack privacy. BTCPay is a Bitcoin payment platform. It gives control over your business back to you, helping people achieve financial freedom with donations, payments, and more. Help your family and onboard your friends. Use BTCPay to host multiple stores and become a payment platform of your own. While the world changes around you, stay in control of your finances. It's simple to use, censorship resistant, and completely free. This is more than a payment platform. It's transforming digital payments as fast as the world around us.